G'day everyone. We're Goudering, whatever it is, Dutch cheesing today. And we're going to be doing it quite differently to the way we've done some others, for a number of reasons. First off, this is a washed curd cheese, which we haven't done before. Mature in about 6 weeks, but our aim is to convert it into something called agedgouda. Now, agedgouda is really nice, whereas normal Gouda, and I'm going to keep calling it Gouda, it's probably Gouda or something else, but Gouda will do for me. Normal Gouda is a soft, rubbery sort of cheese, very mild. Agedgouda, which is a bit hard to find in the shops, is quite hard, and it has little crystals in it, so you get these crunchy, salty bits in it as well. So here's some aged Gouda that we bought from the shop, and as you can see, the rind has gone very hard, dry. You can probably pick up a couple of the little crystals in there as well, and the cheese itself again is quite hard, almost to a parmesan type level, but this is a really nice cheese, and that's what we're going to do with half of it. We're going to try and turn it into aged Gouda. So we need to get started. The other things we are doing a little differently is I've finally got around to using some of my components that I got from Little Green Workshop, Gavin. And I will be using his recipe. You can buy PDFs. He's got 2 PDFs full of cheese recipes online, recommended, really good, and detailed instructions. Also links off to all of his videos. So what we've got from Little Green Workshop is the correct culture. And this is the mesophilic MO30, I guess you'd call it. Which is the one that's specified in this particular recipe. The other aspect that we're going to be doing differently is we have liquid rennet. This is single strength, I believe. Says that, yeah, single strength, liquid rennet. So hopefully this will be better than the tablets. And a big shout out to my friend Naz. Naz has made me this wonderful curd knife. So we'll be able to cut the curd in the horizontal plane by dropping this in and turning it around. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Naz. That's wonderful. All right, what else do we need for this? Well, we need 10 litres of milk. We need the mesophilic culture, calcium chloride, liquid rennet. We've got to make up a salted brine solution of 18% salt. Which we will do a bit later on, and then we'll use the cheese wax and wax the cheese up. Other things we have, of course, our isopropyl alcohol for sterilizing things, temperature gauges, pipette for measuring the calcium chloride, our little baby teaspoons, curd knife and curd spoon, and the press, of course. We need to sanitize all of our equipment, so I've boiled the stainless steel stuff. I'll give it a spray with the alcohol as well. I've got a cheesecloth boiling in a pot over there, and we'll use alcohol on all the plastic bits. We've got to heat our milk to 29 degrees, so let's get all the milk in our pot. Always a challenge because of the non-homogenized nature of it. We have cream sitting at the top, so we try and get the cream out, give it a shake. We now need to get 1 more litre. Because this is very full, we're going to do it on a low heat here, but not with the double boiler, because I don't want to balance this very full pot on top of another pot. So let's pop that on. Oops, wrong one. And we have to whisk it madly until all the cream's absorbed. Big lumps of cream that we've got to get rid of. So I've been whisking for a little while while it's on the heat, and we've got rid of most of the lumps of cream, pretty much all of it. And we're now heating it up to 29 degrees C on this slow burner. Can't say I'm putting it on the back burner, it's on the front burner, but the front burner is a little burner, so it heats more slowly. Once that's done, we'll add the culture to it. So let's get our rennet and calcium chloride ready. We need 2.5 ml in dechlorinated water of the calcium chloride. And that's 2.5 ml. By the way, this has been in the boiling water. Right, that's calcium chloride done. We'll stick the bottle in front of it so we know which one's which. And now we need half a teaspoon, or 2.5 ml again, of our liquid rennet, which has come from Little Green Workshop. Now this has a dropper in it, so must be kept in the fridge. It's got a seal. So open this up. If we can. And we'll get our, what did I say it was? Half a teaspoon. Biggest one we got here is 1/4 teaspoon, so we'll do 2 of these. And I just about put it in the calcium chloride. That's 1. And that's 2. Close that up and we'll pop that back in the fridge straight away. Give this a clean because we need it for our mesophilic culture, which I've opened here and got up to room temperature, because it must be at room temperature. It's just hit 30 degrees, so it's just a little bit over. So now we need to take our tad's a 1/4. 1/8 teaspoon is a dash of mesophilic culture. It's been brought up to room temperature. There we go. And we sprinkle that over the top. We've taken the milk off the heat, and it stays off the heat for now. But we need to get our mesophilic culture back in the freezer and our rennet back in the fridge. That has to rehydrate now for just a few minutes. So we'll come back and then we'll stir that through. So we've let that rehydrate for a few minutes. We're now going to stir it in from top to bottom, or bottom to top, or just stir basically. Make sure it's well spread through there. We're putting in the calcium chloride. We're going to stir that through. Camera person can stir it through. Come on, you stirrer. Stir that right through from top to bottom, bottom to top, whatever. Okay, rennet has been stirred for a minute. No more, no less. If we do any longer, we'll start to break up the curds as they set. So we now cover it, and we'll just do a quick temperature check again. Get turned off. Yeah, still sitting at 30 degrees, that's fine. 1 degree over temperature. And we leave this for 40 minutes to set. We need to make up a brine for the cheese, and it's an 18% solution. Now, I checked in Gav's book, and that means we need 22 grams per litre. 22 grams of salt per litre. So, we'll get our cheese-making salt out, zero the scale, and we shall put in 22 grams. That's 20. And that's 22. I'll boil the kettle to get dechlorinated water. We shall fill that up to the litre mark. And we're using our Kmart, I hope it's big enough, our Kmart cheese maturing chambers, and I won't put the ball picture there this time. Our Kmart cheese maturing chambers, to brine the cheese. So let's just get some water in there. That's boiled, so nice and hot, makes it easy to dissolve the salt, and it'll cool down by the time we need to put the cheese in it. Actually, we don't need to wait for it to cool. I'll just pop it in now and put it in the fridge. If we need to make up more, we shall make up more. Okay, it's been a bit over 40 minutes, so I'll check to see if the curd is ready. We don't quite have a clean break. I'm going to leave that for another 10 minutes, I think. So we'll just check the curd again, see how it's going. Could be a little better, but it's been a long time. I think we'll accept that that's as good as this is going to get. And we're going to try the cheese harp that Naz made me. So we'll put that in there. And around we go. It's a perfect size, well done. And out it comes. And now we shall cut it this way in 1/2 inch cubes or thereabouts. This should give us a much more consistent curd cube. We leave this to settle for 5 minutes and we'll come back. It's been sitting for 5 minutes. We now need to stir for another 5 minutes, so we'll set a timer. Still a few large pieces in there by the look of it. Not really. It's rejoined since cutting. But that is much better than I would normally get. Thank you, Naz. That cheese harp is great. At the same time, I'm keeping an eye on some water over here that I've got to raise up to 60 degrees. We'll use that to wash the curds. Now we need to do the first bit of washing. We've got our water over here, which is 60 degrees, and we've got to let it sit for 5 minutes again. All right, that's been another 5 minutes, and we're going to use a sieve and a cup to take out about 4 cups of whey. There we go. 4 cups of whey taken out. Keep the sieve because we need to do it again. And I'm going to put that whey onto the garden rather than just wasting it. So now we add in 4 cups of our water. That's at 60 degrees. And now we gently stir for another 10 minutes. Oh, got to check the temperature. Should have come up to 32. A little bit over. Probably if I stir it, it'll come down in temperature a little bit. Because the coal will be at the bottom, won't it? And that buttery type stuff is now melting, so that's good. Here we go, washing our curds today, curds today, curds today. You don't need to see any more of this, but I'm going to keep stirring for another 10 minutes. And then we shall remove most of the whey and wash it again. So we've stirred for another 10 minutes. We're going to let that settle again, and then we're going to wash it with the water at 45 degrees after we remove most of the whey from here. So I'll go and empty this out so we know how much water to put back in. We have to drain the whey down to the level of the curd. So we'll get our sieve, colander, whatever, start draining it. And we need to note where that is, about an inch from the top, so that we can refill it with warm water. So that's down to the level of the curd. We have some water that is slightly too hot, So I'll add some cold water in. This water is at 44.5 degrees, which will do it. And we'll top it back up to the level it was before, which is about, well, that'll do it. It's very close to where it was. Now we should have this at 37 degrees. A little bit hot, so we'll add a bit more cold water. And when we stir that, that should be fine. A little bit cool, but it'll be fine. Now we have to stir it for 20 minutes. So we're 10 minutes in and stirring. As we can see, it's breaking up in small bits of curd. Another 10 minutes to go though. We now need to let it settle for 10 minutes and then we'll strain it all off. So let's set another timer for 10. We should end up with a big clump of curd in the bottom of the pot here. That's been settling for a while, and as we can see, it's gone fairly clear on top and all the curd should be sitting at the bottom. So we're going to take it over to the sink and drain it. Show you what the curd looks like now. Sort of clumped together. And carefully pour it in from this point. With clean hands, I'm going to very carefully take it out. It's by far the biggest cheese we've ever made. Now we're just going to make sure this is all broken up into chunks. It's falling on the cheesecloth, so that's all right. Just to release a little bit more of the whey. I think that will probably do it. And now we're going to put it into the cheese mold. So we're going to take it from this cheesecloth into that cheesecloth, which is inside our press. So try and lift that out. This is very full. It's going to compress down a fair bit, I think. I'm putting the flour on just to squash it down a bit, because I want to try and make it even, unlike our Gloucester, which was very uneven. So now we cover it over with that cheesecloth. Put our follower back on and we press it for half an hour at 10 kilos. We need to get the cloth back in around the edge. What's going on? Because we've got a bit of the cloth cord in there. There we go. And we wind it to 10 kilos. 10 kilos for half an hour. We'll come back, flip it over and press it again for 12 hours, or actually be overnight. That's been half an hour in the cheese press. Let's back it off again. We turn it over and we put it back in overnight. There we go. Right, let's get that out of there. And it has gone a bit wonky. See if we can fix that up. Probably not. Bit of a lip there, but that's not going to have an effect just yet. Now we very carefully lift him up. Caught a bit of a crease there, which is not good, but should be able to fix that up when we turn it over. Let's put him back in. Put him up here so we can see a bit better. And now we press again at 10 kilos, I think it was. Just check Gab's things. 13 kilos. So let's wind it up so it's about 13. It's 10, 12, and that would be about 13. That's it for now. We'll get back to him tomorrow where we give him his little salt bath. Shall return. Okay, so we put the cheese in the brine that we made up. Well, actually we had to make a new lot up because that container leaked. But it's been sitting there for 6 hours on one side, 6 hours on the other side, and now it's time to take it out. And we'll put it on its drying rack. And there it is. Come out fine. Got a bit of a crease on the side, but that doesn't matter. And we'll need to cut that lip of cheese off there, but the dog will enjoy that. So now it sits out there for 3 or 4 days until it's touch dry. Then we'll wax it and put it away in the cheese cave. Well, that's done. I've taken our Gouda out of its brine bath and let it dry for about 3 days, and it's come out really, really nice. Got a very good rind on there, all ready to go. I've just given it a vinegar wipe to get the any mold off it, and I shall wax that shortly. As I said earlier, this one will be put in the cheese cave for at least 3 weeks. I'll probably cut it in half, vacuum seal half, and leave that for a year, hopefully, if we can manage it, to get aged Gouda. So what do you think? Have you tried Gouda before? Did it work out? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that sort of good gumph. And enjoy life, not catching the garden.